So, today we're really getting into the nitty gritty of life in China, drawing from that recent live discussion with the Jerry Steak on China 799 handle. It's fascinating how the conversation touches on daily experiences, cultural nuances, and even some of the challenges of living there.
Oh, absolutely. It's like stepping into a real life travel documentary, right? I mean, those shared experiences really bring China to life.
Yep, exactly. And what struck me was how both hosts talked about the balance between tradition and modernity in China.
Hmm.
It's almost like they were mapping out an entire lifestyle that's both deeply rooted and rapidly evolving.
Right. And the conversation wasn't just about pretty landscapes or cool gadgets, it was really personal. They discussed everything from everyday interactions to the intriguing ways in which people adapt to the fast pace of urban life.
Yeah, and the live format added to the authenticity. There was this raw, unedited vibe that made it feel like genuine.
Yep.
They even had a few moments of humor and spontaneity that made it more than just a travel talk.
For sure. And I appreciated how they dived into some sensitive topics like the differences in social expectations and the sometimes overwhelming pace of change. It's not every day you get such an unfiltered peek into life behind the scenes in a place like China.
Absolutely. I mean, it's like they painted a picture that juxtaposes the scenic, almost poetic aspects of Chinese culture with the brisk, sometimes chaotic
Right.
urban pulse. It helped me see how multifaceted the experience really is.
And you know, one part that really got me thinking was how these hosts, coming from similar backgrounds, use their shared experiences to build a sort of relatable narrative. It makes the discussion very accessible, even if you haven't been there yourself.
Yeah, it's like they're telling you, hey, we've been there, we've seen it, and here's what it really means to live and breathe in China. And the fact that it's live
Hmm.
adds that layer of immediacy.
True. Although I do wonder, don't you think sometimes the live chat and the immediacy of comments could distract from the deeper narratives? Like some might argue that the spontaneous nature can uh, dilute the more reflective insights.
That's a good point. I think there's always a balance. While live reactions kick up the energy, they might, as you say, sometimes throw off the focus. But overall, it seems
Yeah,
the hosts managed to strike that blend between informative storytelling and keeping it real.
exactly. And there was um, so much to unpack regarding the cultural observations they shared. Like the way urban life in Beijing or Shanghai is so different from the smaller towns. It's, it's almost like you're navigating two different worlds in one country.
Totally. It's interesting how they emphasize that contrast. They mentioned, for example, how in the bustling cities there's an intense drive to keep up with the latest trends, while in other areas, tradition still plays a massive role in everyday life. It paints a
Mhm.
picture of constant transformation.
And think about the implications for someone considering moving there or even teaching there, which they touched upon with a comment like, is teaching in China worth it in 2025? It's this very modern dilemma, right?
Uh huh. That particular question about career choices really underscored how personal and professional lives are intertwined with cultural shifts. It's it's like if you're stepping into that world, you're in for both the challenges and the rewards.
Absolutely. And going off that, they even shared anecdotes about navigating the bureaucracy and adapting to different classroom settings when it comes to teaching. It can be eye opening for anyone interested in that life.
Exactly. And these stories give you tangible examples. Like um, one host recounted a situation that sounded almost surreal, where they had to adjust to unexpected norms that you wouldn't find in a textbook. It sort of
Yeah.
humanizes the whole experience rather than just throwing stats or abstract cultural theories at you.
Right, and it's not just about the challenges, it's also about the joys. I mean, the way they describe the food culture, the festivals, the art, that blend of vibrancy really shows how um, life in China can be rich and deeply immersive.
Definitely. And let's not forget the impact of social media in all this. The fact that this discussion was live streamed and integrated with chat comments really illustrates how modern technology shapes our understanding of global
Mhm.
cultures. It's almost like you're part of a global conversation in real time.
Yeah, the interplay between personal experience and public engagement is, well, it's a bit of a double edged sword, isn't it? There's a risk of oversimplification, but also a chance to connect diverse viewpoints.
For sure, and while there's room to critique how sometimes the stream can veer off into superficial chatter, the core narrative still stands strong.
Right.
It's that delicate art of balancing depth with accessibility.
Exactly. And one thing that kept resonating with me was the idea of shared heritage and identity. Even for travelers or expats, there's this growing interest to understand and integrate, even if briefly, with the local fabric of life.
Absolutely. It's like experiencing a culture is never just a one dimensional picture, you know? There's layers, the history, the rapid modernization, and the everyday interactions that bring it all to life.
Yeah,
And that's what makes these kinds of discussions so engaging.
it really is. I mean, there's a kind of poetic irony in how someone can be a part time traveler or teacher in China and feel like they're continuously rediscovering both themselves and the environment around them.
Exactly, and that's what really stands out. The conversation wasn't just a travel log, it was a multidimensional look at what it means to be immersed in a culture that's evolving at breakneck speed. It challenges you to think about change in a very dynamic way.
Yeah, and I do respectfully wonder if there might be aspects left untold, like the darker or more complex sides of such transformation that sometimes get overshadowed by the vibrant narrative.
That's a fair point. While the focus was on personal adventure and cultural exploration, one could argue that there are untapped stories about socioeconomic disparities or political
Right,
tensions. It'd be like an interesting expansion for a follow up discussion.
exactly. I mean, if you dig a little deeper, there's a whole array of challenges that everyday people face in adapting to these rapid changes. And that contrast between the momentous beauty and the underlying struggles is a story in itself.
Yep, and while the lively discussion painted a vibrant picture overall, it leaves room for us to explore further dimensions in future talks. It's like tasting just one course of an entire meal. You're left wanting to know more.
Yeah, and with technology and online platforms doing all this real time connecting, it really sets the stage for more multi layered stories. I love how it opens up a dialogue about cross cultural experiences without a neat, definitive ending.
Exactly. It's ongoing, and that's what adds so much excitement to the narrative. Every new live chat or stream discussion is like another piece of the big mosaic of life in China,
Yeah,
and you can't help but get swept up in it.
right. And even though there were moments where the conversation might have felt a bit too spontaneous, that very spontaneity is what gives it its authenticity. It's not rehearsed or overly polished, it's raw and real.
So true. And it's this blend of professional insights with the passion for travel and culture that really sets it apart. It invites listeners not only to learn about China, but to feel its pulse firsthand.
And in the end, that's what makes these kinds of discussions so compelling. They force you to think, reflect, and perhaps even challenge your own perspectives about what life in a rapidly evolving society really means.
Absolutely. It's a conversation that transcends mere travel. It's about understanding a living, breathing culture in its full complexity. And that's why I keep coming back
Right.
for more.
Same here. It's been an engaging exchange, full of insights and candid revelations. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing where these discussions go next.
Me too. It's amazing what shared experiences and honest dialogue can uncover about a place as multifaceted as China. I mean,
Yeah.
the conversation has opened up so many areas for exploration.
And that's the beauty of it. Every perspective adds a new brushstroke to the complete picture of life there. I can only imagine the next live session will dive even deeper into those untold stories.
For sure, and with platforms like this, making such authentic storytelling possible, it really makes you appreciate the dynamism of cultural exchange. There's always a next chapter waiting to be explored.
Well said. Here's to more engaging, spontaneous, and thought provoking conversations about life, culture, and the ever changing landscape of China.